What up, y'all? Keto Quad here. I am in New Mexico. No, I'm in Arizona, Flagstaff. I'm out here picking up my buddy Diego. He's just landed from New Zealand, and we're about to do a road trip up to Montana for my buddy's Jake's wedding. And yeah, I'm excited. I had a few minutes. I'm waiting for him at the airport, and I figured this is a good chance to actually do a quick bit on dating as a quadriplegic. It's definitely a big question for people, and I think because as soon as I was injured, the first thing I thought is, well, am I going to be able to have sex again? You know, I was 23, so I was kind of at the peak of, well, not, I don't know if you call it the peak, but I was just very sex oriented, and so dating and like that whole realm to me was like, is this even possible? Like, am I worth that? And initially I had a lot of people come visit me, and actually a couple girls I talked with, and we got really close. And it showed me that it wasn't all physical, and I mean that's pretty obvious, but to me there's a big manliness kind of thing before I was injured, and then after being injured, you know, having like quad hands, so you can't grab, you can't like hold hands. It's like a very hard thing to go through. And there are people who are quadriplegics who have even less function, and I could see like them being scared. But I'm here to just tell you that it's nothing to worry about. You know, it's intimidating because we're like babies, you know, getting thrown into babies' bodies, but we have our minds, and you just got to figure out how to do things. And the thing to remember, like with women or for men, women, whatever, I mean, people care about who you are, not necessarily like what you can do in a sense. So I definitely think everybody should get out there. If they're intimidating by dating, doing it, like getting out there doing it. And the biggest way I'm an advocate for is just going out anywhere you normally go, like, or just life. So going out and trying to meet people doing something you love, like dancing, and in a wheelchair that's a little difficult. You have to kind of improvise there too. But going out there, like going to a bar, with friends, going anywhere. I mean, rec center. They've got those singles things on the radio. I always hear like single mingle kind of. I don't know what it's called, but another way too that I've found is cool just to get like talking to girls again is, and when I say girls, I mean men or women, whoever's listening. But like Tinder and Bumble, it's kind of like annoying because you'll like invest this time into a person, then maybe not even meet up. But it kind of lets you run through the numbers. You see people fast. Like there's, you know, people on both sides who are looking for a relationship. So that's a good way to meet girls. And then I'm gonna actually post up my profile. Boom.
They call me Dr. Love. They call me Dr. Love. I've got the cure you're thinking of, Dr. Love.
And that's Tinder and Bumble. So I'll do that. I'll just like, that's kind of just for fun. It is a good way to meet people, because I actually met a few really great girls through there, kind of having to go through all the numbers essentially, and like finding cool girls, because that's my requirement. Yeah, be cool. Like sex and all that is whatever. It's all about like, I want to have a friend. And I think as a quad, people should be able to, like, you should be able to share things that you go through. Like one of the weirdest things for me when I first started dating was like, well, I have to pee in a catheter. Can I fit into your bathroom? Can I, like, I have to poop in a commode chair. Like, can I fit into your bathroom? What else? Like, with sex, huge question. How do I do this? What, and it's, luckily there was never any really awkwardness. It was kind of awkward because you had to be like, I can't really be on top in a sense, and like not being able to lift yourself. And so it's a challenge, but over time, you figure it out and figure out what works. But it's important to have somebody who can handle those things. And like, yeah, I'm in a wheelchair. I may get better, I may not. Like, I think if somebody goes in dating you as a quad or a para and they think that you're going to be better in a couple months, there's going to be an issue because you don't know what your road's going to be like. You can't have an expectation. Because actually, I feel like there was a part of that with my ex-girlfriend. That was kind of a thing. Was like, I wanted to be walking in the end of the year, right after I was injured, and it's been 3.5 years now, and I'm regaining function, like core function, but I haven't really moved anything below my hips on my, like, mentally. So you can't put a label on that, like I'm going to be 100%. I know it's going to be hard for a lot of you guys who are super stubborn, like I was, but just don't let them kind of have an expectation. Just love you for you, because whether or not you're fully recovered or not, like, you're still you, and that's really important, and that's worth something. There's value there. So just own, like, where you're at, because this is a chapter in your life. You're going through it. It's a learning process. You're gonna love and hate it because it's gonna be awkward, and like, there's so many things that you go through. But it's kind of like being a kid again, one of the times I got, like, kind of felt awkward was when I had to, like, ask them for help. So before I was driving, like, could you put my chair in your car? Or even as simple as, could you cut my steak for me? Because I wasn't able to really cut or do anything. And trick of the trade, if you go out to a restaurant, you're having a steak or something that needs to be cut, when you order it, just be like, hey, can you slice that up in, like, bite size for me? And boom, then you don't have to worry about it. But either way, I feel like they shouldn't be mad about helping you, or it's something that's gonna come with you, and it sucks. It's one of those things that you may not even ever get used to, and as you become more independent and figure out how to do things with less help, if you're able to, it'll get easier. But you can be almost fully independent even if you are a full quad. Definitely living in Denver, there's a lot of great services out here. CDOS for, like, having a CNA is awesome for you guys because it can really allow you to have somebody to help. And there's a lot of guys I know who they ended up marrying their CNAs. And I don't know if they were initially their CNAs, but they're like certified nurses. And that's like, then there's not like a third wheel to your date, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be awkward. It's going to be frustrating dating, but just be yourself. And like me, it's really easy for me to talk to people in general. So it's hard to relate in all aspects. But I do know a lot of guys who just struggle, and just like putting yourself out there and talking to somebody, like, as a guy that I've noticed, like, we get way more attention being in a wheelchair than I've ever gotten before. Like, I'm like, wow, like this is way easier to talk to girls and just make fun of yourself, enjoy yourself, let them make fun of you, because that's how. And like I always initially kind of kick it off making fun of myself, because then they know it's not a big deal. You know, like I accept where I'm at right now, and I make fun of it because it is kind of funny, you know. Like Dalila is a great example. So she's one of my best friends, and we actually just saw her in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was just down there, and first thing I did is start making fun of myself, like being in a wheelchair, and just like, damn it, I'm like dropping shit everywhere. I'm like, oh, I'm so crippled. Like, and it just like, it really lightens the mood, because that's one thing that they want to ask you about, but they don't know how to, and you kind of just lighten everything up. To just overview, for dating as a quad, just get out there, talk to people, don't be afraid of your injury limiting you. Use Bumble, use Tinder, use Match.com, Plenty of Fish, whatever online, if you want to use that. If you're not able to get out and you want to reach out, do that. Go to community events like church, recreational centers, anything with a lot of people, you know, malls, events. That's gonna increase your chance of meeting people, more than just a date, but just friends, people in general. And don't be what somebody wants you to be, because you're worth it. You're valuable. We all are. And just get out there, yo. So please ask me questions. I have no idea, like, what other things you guys may have in your mind about dating, and just, yeah, ask me, because I don't know, and I would like to help. And if I can't, I'll try to talk to somebody who I know, maybe they're that your same injury, whatever. But ask me questions and get out on a date. And that's all I got for y'all. I'm gonna pick up Diego here in a minute, and we're gonna drive up to Montana tomorrow. So wish us luck. Woo! Keto Quad out. And y'all have a fantastic week. Boom. Better. I'm bouncing. Oh, I'm bouncing off the wall. The Adderall, the loosen the pressure. So much I can take.